Today we're going to be doing the Megalith deck profile. It's a very fun deck, not very competitive, but like I said, it's extremely fun. So without further ado, let's get right into the deck and the cards that I chose. We run 3 copies of Manjo, the 10,000 Hands. It searches any of the ritual monsters we need to get in the deck. For the other monsters, we run 3 copies of Incantation Pencil Plume. We only run 6 incantations, 3 of this one and then 3 of the other one, because we can't use the other ones because we don't have ritual spells. We then run 3 copies of Incantation Talismandra. This is a really good incantation that helps us get ritual monsters from the deck, so it just helps us search more. We then run 3 copies of Megalith Othiel. She searches any of our Megalith monsters that we need. And it's really cool because the Megalith monsters act as other Megalith monsters' ritual spells, so you don't need ritual spells to summon Megaliths. You then run 2 copies of Megalith Haggith. This is another searcher, but it searches out a spell or a trap. We don't run 3 of it because we don't have that many Megalith spell or traps to search with it. You then run 2 copies of Och or Ock. Basically what it does is it just allows us to draw 1 card and then discard 1 card. We then run 2 copies of Megalith Bathor. Bathor is it's basically like a Raigeki for the deck, and it's really cool because you kill monsters your opponent controls or kill cards your opponent controls up to the number of ritual monsters in your graveyard, which is really cool, and has a big booty defense. You then run 2 copies of Megalith Phaleg. Phaleg basically makes your monsters gain attack. They gain 300 attack and defense for every single ritual monster in your graveyard. And she's already pretty high at 25, so she's really cool. I really like her. She's a really good card for this deck. You then run 2 copies of Megalith Aratron. It's just a negate boy, and it's one of our boss monsters, so that's all we need to know about Aratron. Now, for the non-Megalith ritual monsters we run 2 copies of Unicorn. Unicorn's just good. Enough said. 1 copy of Incantation Chalice Slime. It just helps us get combo pieces and important cards that we need to use. We then run 1 copy of Amorph Actor Pain, Imagination Trick Overlord, because it's really funny to skip people's main phases with this, and then they get mad. They skip their main phase 1, man. It's mean. We then run 1 copy of Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon. Originally I didn't play this card, but I teched it in just to see how it worked, and I won't take it out. It's really cool. I really love playing this card. It's really funny to use against people. And then for the last ritual monster we run, this is kind of like our boss monster, if you will. We run 1 copy of Magician of Black Chaos Max. This card is really cool. It just helps us make a big monster that we can use to get over stuff. And look at him, he just looks sick. For the spells we run 3 copies of Megalith Portal. It's our field spell. Basically what it does is when we summon a Megalith ritual monster, we can add 1 ritual monster from our graveyard back to our hand, and the first time any ritual monster would be destroyed by battle, it isn't. So it's very similar to like Dragonic Diagram in that effect. We run 3 of it because we can search it, but we cannot recycle it. We then run 3 copies of Preparation of Rites, just because this is a really good card, and it just helps us get important cards that we need. We then run 2 copies of Pot of Avarice, just because we load our graveyard up with a lot of monsters, and we want to be able to reuse those monsters if we need to. So that's why we run 3 copies of Pot of Avarice. We then run 1 copy of Monster Reborn, as well as 1 copy of Incantation Inception. And then we only run 2 traps, and that's 2 copies of Megalith Emergence. And that's it for the main deck. So now for the extra deck, which we don't go into all that much, but we still have it because it's there if we need it and if we can. 2 copies of Time Thief Redoer. The extra deck's kind of up to you what you want to play because, like I said, you don't really go into it all that much. So this is just kind of like put there just so I have cards that can help me. So we got 2 copies of Time Thief Redoer. That's just a good card. We then run 1 copy of number 39 Utopia, just because he's a good card. We then run 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. He's also a really good card. 1 copy of Castel, just because, again, he's a good card and we can use him. 1 copy of number 101 Silent Honor Arc. 1 copy of Ivagishki Marrowgeist, because we have Gishkis in the side deck that we can use this card with. So it's a really good card when we use it, but we can't use it all the time. We then have 1 copy of Tornado Dragon. I go into this card quite a bit just because it's a really good card and it's not hard to make and it has pretty decent attack. And now we go into the Link monsters. We run 1 copy of Gravity Controller. We basically just use like one of our Xyz monsters to summon it. We don't really summon it all that much, but when we do, it's very good. You then run 1 copy of Usa, the Earth Charmer Immovable. Pretty much all of the cards in our deck are Earth, all of the Megalith, so this just helps very well with those. 1 Mrs. Radiant for, again, all of our Megaliths are Earths, so this is a really good card to help us with just Earth in general. It gives us attack and it adds back Earth monsters, so why not? You then run 1 Land Fornicus, and that's it for the extra deck. Now for the side deck, which the side deck, it's pretty cool. I don't usually use the side deck all that much unless I really need to, but when I do use it, it's very good and it helps me a lot. We run 1 copy of Evagishki Soul Ogre. He's not very good, but when we do use him, he's okay, but we just use him for, he's big and he can get rid of stuff if we need to. We then got 1 Archfiend's Awakening. This is a really good card because not a lot of things can get over it because it can't be destroyed by battle except with a ritual monster, and it cannot be destroyed by monster effects except for those of a ritual monster. So it's hard to get over and it requires some resources. We then have our 3rd copy of Necros of Unicorn. I don't main the 3rd because we don't usually need it, so I don't want to run too many of it because I don't want it to get cloggy. You then run 1 copy of Ivagishki Mind August. This card is really cool. It helps us recycle stuff, and we can also recycle him to keep recycling stuff so we never really deck out. You then run 1 copy of Gust Kraken just because this is a really good card. And then 1 copy of Water Leviathan at Ignister. I don't really use this card all that much, but when I do, it works very well just because it's not hard to make. We can search it out, and we can recycle it and keep using its effect. And it's not a bad card in general. And that's it for the ritual monsters in our side deck, but we run quite a few of normal summonable monsters. We run 3 copies of Gishki Chain, just because he's a good card. He helps us thin our deck, and he helps us get like ritual monsters if we need them. So it's a really good card. I don't use him all that much, but when I do, he's really good. 1 copy of Gishki Marker. I don't really use this guy, but he's just there just in case I do need him. I used him once, and he did very well. And then run 1 copy of Effect Veiler. I had 1 spot extra, and I didn't know what to put in, so I just decided to put in 1 Effect Veiler. We then run 3 copies of Execution of the Contract. this is a really good card. Basically, you can reveal one ritual monster in your hand, and then when this is equipped to that monster, you can reveal one ritual monster in your hand, and it can be treated as it becomes that level, or the monster's level. So if you reveal like a level 8, that the monster that is equipped to becomes level 8. And then for the last card in our side deck, we have one copy of Dark Hole. I don't use this card pretty much like ever, because we have on archetype Dark Hole / Raigeki if we need to, but it's there just in case I do need it. So, and that's it for the deck. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys have any card suggestions, or if you guys have any suggestions in general, leave a comment down below, and please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow, and eventually I want to be able to start doing giveaways, but I can't do a lot of giveaways if I don't have a lot of viewers or subscribers. So thank you, and bye.